Hey, Richard Tubb here. It's World Backup Day, and so we've asked a series of experts to offer their top backup tips for managed service providers for MSPs. I wanted to kick things off by saying that even though your client's data is in the cloud, you as an MSP still need to take responsibility for backups. Yes, it's true that software as a service solutions like Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace, yes, they're backed up by Microsoft and Google, but a backup is only as good as its recovery. And if you've ever tried to recover data quickly and effectively from Microsoft or Google, then you'll know it's like pulling teeth. It is slow and it is very, very painful. So for every MSP, I'd recommend investigating cloud-to-cloud backup solutions. These solutions offer backups of your SaaS application, your software as a service applications, and they go above and beyond the manufacturer's backups. Whether it's going to be human error or malware and ransomware cyber criminals, being able to simplify the recovery of SaaS data at a granular level. So for example, individual emails rather than a whole mailbox. This is a huge time saver for you as an MSP and for your clients. For MSPs, you can also offer self-service restores for end users using these services. So that reduces your cost of support even further, less tickets. Plus, these really are valuable services. So I would expect you as an MSP to charge your clients for these services. And this offers you an additional revenue stream. A final tip, MSPs, I'd encourage you to use World Backup Day to educate your clients on the importance of data backup. Their data is your business. So I hope you enjoy all of the other videos we've put together for experts on World Backup Day with backup tips for MSPs, and stay safe out there.
Hi guys, Rick Yates here from Axcient. So most of the MSPs that I talk to offer a tiered backup and disaster recovery offering. And it's typically something like basic backup, then backup with disaster recovery, and then business continuity plus with all the bells and whistles. And they do this for a few reasons, but mainly it's because the gold quality BCDR is expensive. So a lot of businesses feel that they sometimes justify not taking that by saying that it's a bit, over the top for their needs, and they don't need to spend that much money on BCDR. The thing is, 80% of our industry consists of small to medium-sized businesses. So that's a lot of potential customers who are not getting the gold standard of business continuity technology. The thing is, backup and disaster recovery technology is now developed to the extent that things that were really expensive a couple of years ago are now really affordable. For example, appliance-free, instantaneous one-click recovery to a pre-prepared virtual network directly from your backups is something that is actually really affordable now. And so there's a massive opportunity for MSPs to step up their customers' business continuity plan, and the small business no longer needs to settle for the third or best option. So take a look around and see what's changed in the market and take advantage of some of the new offerings at the lower prices that will help your customers and help you build your backup revenue stream.
Hello, I'm Adam Preeo with Axcient, and I'm here today to talk about a backup and recovery tip and trick for World Backup Day. So on my agenda for today is backup vendors. We find that most MSPs we speak with have more than one backup vendor. It's usually 3 or 4 or 5 or even more, which can be a huge hassle to maintain and manage all of those relationships and technologies. And what Axcient has done is we've really focused on technologies that allow you to back up production data no matter where it lives. So to make sure you can always recover anything from your critical on-premise servers very quickly, to remote workers that have their own laptops, to Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace data. So today you may have multiple vendors for those things. And as you look at consolidating vendors, we definitely recommend looking at a few different things. One is their ability to back up all of those production data sets and provide you the reporting and access you need from a single pane of glass. The second is to make sure your vendor is MSP focused. A lot of backup vendors go directly to small businesses or they have other channels. At Axcient, we make sure that we're always 100% MSP focused, which means we're building tools and processes directly for you. The third is related, which is just to say that make sure that vendor is really focused on backup. Is that their core competency? Have they delved into other things that may compete with your production infrastructure? And are you concerned about having all of your eggs in one basket in terms of production infrastructure and your backup data? The last tip I would give is to make sure that backup vendor is focused on recovery and not necessarily backup. Two big differences there. Making sure that you're always able to recover from your backups. The worst thing is to get into a scenario where you think you have good backups and you go to recover and there's data missing or you're unable to virtualize or something along those lines. So we hope 2021 is the year that you look at consolidating backup vendors, and we hope Axcient is on your list. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Steve Petryschuk from Auvik here with a few tips on backups in the spirit of World Backup Day 2021. Tip number 1, automate your backups. Don't spend your precious time manually backing up your workstations and network devices. Tip number 2, check regularly to make sure that your backups are running properly. Tip number 3, make an off-site copy of your backup. This could be to the cloud or to another physical location. You just don't want all the data in one spot. Tip number 4, test your backups. You don't want to find out your backups are corrupted when you're most in need of them. Test restoring them often to ensure you have a solid recovery plan. And my last bonus tip, make sure you're backing up as much as you can. We often think about workstations and servers to back up, but don't forget about other data types, like data hosted in your cloud services. And of course, Auvik can help you automatically back up your network device configurations as well. Good luck, and let's all take the pledge. I solemnly swear to back up my important documents and precious memories on March 31st. Thanks so much.
Hello, Nigel Moore, founder of the Tech Tribe here. And my friend Richard Tubb has asked me to provide some backup tips or a backup tip for World Backup Day. And so here's my tip. A lot of us in the MSP space focus very, very, very heavily when we're talking to our clients about backups on all the things, all the basic things, like making sure that we're protecting all of the data and making sure that we've got multiple points or multiple retention histories so that we can go back to different points in time, and making sure that we've got notifications on and testing things and all that kind of stuff. But one of the conversations that doesn't happen enough in the backup space is the conversation around recovery time objectives. So the RTO metric, which is the amount of time it takes when you are in a disaster scenario to recover your data or to recover your systems or to get back up and running. And in a true disaster scenario, that could be minutes to hours to days to sometimes weeks. And so my tip here is, if you're not having that part of the conversation with your clients at the moment, start to bring the RTO discussion, the recovery time objective discussion, into conversations with your clients so they know the expectations for if or when they need to rely on restoring some data. Now, one of the things you can do with recovery time objective conversations with your clients is you can start to offer them different levels of offering. So you might be able to say to them, look, with this particular offering here, the time to recover in the event of a disaster at this price point is going to be, let's say, 3 days to get you 100% back up and running. But with this much more expensive option here, typically a much more expensive option, the RTO in there gets it right down to 15 minutes. So we can get your entire business back up and running within 15 minutes of a disaster. So that's my tip. Make sure to include the RTO or the recovery time objective part of the backup conversation in conversations that you are having with your clients. That's all from me. Happy World Backup Day. Bye for now.
Hey everyone, my name is Kyle Marsan. I'm a senior systems engineer with Barracuda MSP. And my tip for World Backup Day is don't forget about your remote workers. Since COVID, many companies have made the shift from working in an office to a remote workforce. This tends to bring up the question, how do you protect all of these employees who are working from home? With the shift to the cloud, it's really easy to forget about all those devices and data that now live outside of the network. And I know no matter how much you tell users not to save work to their PC, they still do it. I've seen lots of users that have specific applications. Maybe they all have unique configurations, and it's typically a pain to have to reconfigure everything from scratch should something happen to one of those devices. So I recommend that you have a way ahead of time to recover these devices in the event of a disaster. And remember, it's important to make sure that you have an image backup so it's really easy to roll back in addition to backing up the customer's data. And you never know what can happen to these devices outside of the office, so I find it's better to be prepared than be left catching up. So this this World Backup Day, make sure you put this tip to use as well as other best practices.
Hi everyone, so I wanted to give a quick tip on backing up Microsoft 365. So with the recent transition to cloud-based tools and services, such as Microsoft 365, that came as a result of the shift to remote work due to the global pandemic. It creates a large need for a reliable backup solution of that data. So if you aren't already, then offer your clients a bundled service of Microsoft 365 with a cloud-to-cloud backup solution. Doing this creates a much safer solution for your customers, whilst also providing you with a differentiator and opportunity to make much higher recurring margins than you would do if you sell a Microsoft standalone. My top tip when having this conversation, especially if the customer doesn't see the value of this, is to show them that Microsoft recommends it in their client agreement, and remind them just because it's in the cloud doesn't mean it's safe from data loss. And lastly, I guess I'd just make sure you partner with a vendor or cloud solution provider like Giacom, who will help you scale your business. So as an MSP, you'll thrive with someone that is dedicated to the channel and not going to fight you for business, and provide you with the tools to be successful.
Hey everyone, Jason Kemsley here with you from Uptime Solutions, celebrating what is World Backup Day. I wanted to bring you my top tip when it comes to backups, and my top tip is one that's going to make me extremely unpopular when it comes to backup vendors. My top tip: test the DR scenario now. Now, sounds simple, sounds easy. Your customer relies on you. You rely on your vendors. And have you ever simulated or tested a DR or ransomware scenario to make sure that you get the support you need from your backup vendors when you need it most? We all know that backups are not just important for file recovery and disaster recovery, but they're now becoming crucial when it comes to ransomware attacks and some of these types of scenarios. So simulate a ransomware attack, simulate a disaster recovery scenario, and then test how quick you can get support from your chosen vendor. Does your ticket sit there 24 hours waiting to be triaged? Does it take 8 hours for a response? If you can test this, it means when your customer needs you most and you need your vendor the most, you know you've got the support you need and will deliver the service that you ultimately want to deliver. Thank you.
March 31st is World Backup Day. If you're a managed service provider, you know how important it is to ensure your client's data is protected and backed up. I hope you've considered how important it is to ensure their network configurations are backed up. The network infrastructure, those managed switches, firewalls, and wireless access points are critical components to your client's business. It's this network infrastructure that is the backbone of your client's business. If you aren't backing this up, you're missing something critical that you should be doing. Domotz, which is a network management solution, automatically backs up your network configurations to the cloud, giving you the assurance that if the network goes down due to hardware failures, misconfigurations, or simply employee errors, you have what you need to quickly restore that network. Minimizing downtime is critical to the operation of your client's business. Backups of the network configuration is critical to reducing that downtime should a failure occur. Furthermore, backing up information on all your IT assets is important. Domotz pushes critical data of all your network-based assets into your documentation system in real time. If your network infrastructure fails, that documentation you kept can immediately become outdated. Domotz continuously backs up your network asset information and keeps your documentation systems up to date. Check us out. Take advantage of our 21-day free trial at domotz.com and see how we can help improve your business and back up your network configurations and IT-based assets in a more effective way.
If you're not taking backups, you're probably not complying with GDPR. Hi, I'm Robert Baugh, the CEO of Keepabl, award-winning privacy SaaS and founder of Privacy Kitchen. Now, there's a lot of confusion about backups and GDPR, but you absolutely must take backups in order to comply. 3 reasons. Number 1, GDPR makes you put in place appropriate security measures to protect personal data, and backups are a key part of good security. It's related to the reason number 2, avoiding the PR disaster of a personal data breach. You've just 72 hours to notify regulators of personal data breaches creating risk for data subjects, and to notify those individuals if there's a likely high risk. And reason number 3, when investors, auditors, customers and partners ask about your security or privacy compliance, they'll definitely want to see a backup policy, which will support your business continuity and disaster recovery policy, showing you can continue to protect their data and continue to provide services to them in times of crisis. So there we go, on this World Backup Day, review your backup policy, check they're working and comply with GDPR.